Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, according to the time where you are. Ẹ káàárọ̀, ẹ káàsán, ẹ kúrọ̀lẹ́ o, gẹ́gẹ́ bí àsìkò tí olúkálùkù wà. My name orúkọ tèmi náà ni Oluwafọlákẹ́mi Busari. My name is Oluwafọlákẹ́mi Busari. The last episode we had it's about Yoruba creation. I made a video, a program on that, and we want to continue from there. And there are some meat we need to put in place. The last video we talked about how Yoruba race actually, the story of the creation of the world by Yorubas. You know, every creation, they have their own storyline, how they are created. Even the Bible made us to understand the creation, about how some people were created, how the world was formed. The Quran also has every region, every nation, they have their own way of thinking about how the world came into being. But Yorubas, we believe that the world was empty. It was empty, no human being was there. Olodumare, the supreme God, created the heaven. He rules in the heaven. Why the waters? We only have the heaven and the waters. It was only waters in the world before the creation. Yemoja, that's the Olokun, is the goddess of the river. He governs the river. Obatala was with God. It was like maybe a very close person, one of the angels. Like the Yorubas believe one of the archangels, that the smaller gods that helps God in the heaven. That's in the heavenlies. We have some we like the Bible will tell us about the archangels. Even the Quran will also talk about archangels. The Yoruba culture also believe in those archangels, but we call them Orisha. The Yoruba believe that all those smaller gods are the messengers of Almighty, of Eledumare. So we have every region, every nation has their own messenger. The messengers Olodumare sent to them for a particular purpose. Okay, like there are some religions that will tell you that, okay, Muhammad was sent to the Arabs, but now they said it's sent to the world. It was sent to the Arabs. Why Jesus was sent to the Jews? The Obatala, Orunmila, they are sent to the Yoruba race. Every region, remember I said every region, every nation, they have their messengers sent to them. Even in the Asian world, they also have their own prophets, the gods, the smaller gods sent to them. The same way Obatsala was with Olodumare. I looked at the empty world. The world was just plain except for the waters. Like, Olodumare, if you create this world like like the where people will habit, it will be a nice place. And it took permission from Eledumare. And Eledumare went into Orunmila, Obatala went into, I think the last one I was talking about Orunmila, it wasn't Orunmila, it was Obatala. Obatala went into the world. We a calabash of sand with pigeon and hen, and with 5 toes. And each you, as he poured the sand to the walls to cover the waters, to cover the waters, he now released a pigeon um, and the end. They were the one that were spreading the dry land all over. That is the story of the creation by the Yorubas. Now, human being, how are we created? We got the account of the Bible, we got account of the Quran. I told you that Yoruba is a religion on its own. We have our own religion. The word Yoruba means is a religion. It means a religion, a way of life. Yoruba means a way of life. It's a way of life. And when you talk about a way of life, it includes their culture. The culture will also metaphors into religion because this is the way they do. Their religion, their mode of dressing, the language, everything about a particular tribe is what we call, everything about Yorubas is what we call religion, because that's what they believe in. But where we wear our clothes is our religion. That's what we believe. Religion is what you believe in. It's the way. So Yoruba is a religion. Now, from the Quran aspect, humans are created. I'm coming there. Thank you, Idris. I'm coming there. According to the Quran, human beings were created by the clay. According to the Bible, human beings are also created by the clay. According to the Yorubas, human beings are created by the clay. How? When Orunmila, with the permission of Eledumare, created the earth, Orunmila took clay, amọ̀, ó mọ èèyàn. Elédùmarè wá pàṣẹ ẹ̀mí sí i. Ọbàtálá molded clay, and Elédùmarè birth, the birth of life. That is the story of creation. According to the Yoruba race, is very similar to even what the Bible is talking about and what the Quran is also talking about. Now, now we've talked about how it was formed. According to the Yorubas still believe that all the archangels that we call archangels are a I think the Muslim we call it, the Christian we talk about angels, while the Muslim is we call it, they call it angels, angels as well, the angels of God. So we call them Orisha, smaller gods. Orisha means the smaller gods. The Orisha is something that you reference. That is the meaning of Orisha. So, but it's not as bigger as Elédùmarè. Through the Orishas, the Yorubas go to Elédùmarè to ask for whatever they want, to ask for long life. They ask Orisha, let's say Orunmila. Orunmila is a chief priest. Orunmila descended from heaven to the earth. Okay, the Orunmila, Ọbàtálá, after the creation of the earth, by pouring the sand, and the hen and the pigeon, they went there to spread it. Then Ọbàtálá took clay, molded it like human. And he told Elédùmarè, mo ti mọ́. Elédùmarè now birth, breathed the breath of life into that clay, and the clay became woman. That is the Yoruba aspect of the creation. Is similar to most of the accounts of the creation we got. Now, let's go into those smaller gods. They came from heaven. They were, like I said initially, Obatala, Orunmila. They are all living with Eledumare. They were staying with Eledumare, helping Eledumare, just like the angels of Eledumare. Like you send them, Eledumare send them on errand. So when they descended after the creation, they came down to guide the people on how to walk. So Orunmila Agbonmiregun is the chief priest at that time. Is the one that takes that is so much interested in people's life. He guides people on how to do things, on how to go the right path, what to do and what not to do. He showed them the path to Eledumare, which talk about love. Remember, Orunmila came from heaven. He was with Eledumare. He is the one they call Baba Agbonmiregun. Is the chief priest which specializes in the care and the guidance of people. So when people have issues, they go to Orunmila, and Orunmila will guide them through another thing they formulated on how to talk, on what to do and not what to do. So when Orunmila was leaving, he drops the pedals in which you consult. He will be able to show, because he then, as a chief priest, he got many people that learned under him the trade or the work of divinity. So when he eventually left, he left the Ifa to those people that were learning under him, and they were the one who continued the work of Orunmila. So when people are having issues, they consult Orunmila, and when they put on the Ifa will tell them what to do for them to be out of the problem, because Orunmila is always interested in people's welfare. Is a chief priest in Yoruba race. It's just like the chief priest is just like a prophet. A chief priest is just like a prophet that prophesy, that tells them things to do and things not to do. Then all this history, they are oral history, they are not documented. It got, before we could, the documentation of Yoruba history came around 17th century before we started documenting it. All those ones are from mouth to mouth. That is oral testimony of people. Now let's look at some myth that said people are already living in Yoruba land. True, when Obatala created the world. So some people settled in Yoruba land. Obatala came down with Orunmila. They were guiding people, they've made people, so people were now reincarnating. So when in the history, when Oduduwa came, he met people in Ilefe. People were, it wasn't like it was just coming and he met an empty place and he stood there. No. He migrated from the south, from the far east, whereas some people were saying that Oduduwa came from Saudi. No. According to the history, some people can even link Oduduwa to Egypt, because most of the as they were like travelers with their worship, with the way they worship their own God. They move from one place to the other. So along the line, the culture are mixing, the language are mixing. So they may just have a stopover. They miss several stopover. But even we, according to some history, some people were saying Oduduwa was the Arod, the Abraham's son that moving from one place to the other. But it wasn't, they weren't actually from Saudi. Because if they were with Saudi, there would be some similarities in the culture they brought. Though they said there was a fight because of their gods and their god and the gods they are serving. At that point in time, the Saudi, they were still practicing paganism. They are still practicing paganism. It wasn't at that point maybe they are practicing Islam. There should be some element in their language. At least there's no how you will be a native of a place, even if you are not worshiping the same God, you are not worshiping the same way. There's no how you move away from that place and you will adopt a new language. There won't be elements of that Arabic in Yoruba language. So it was a myth conjured maybe by clerics according to their own selfish aim, because practically quite a number of people have questioned that if they're actually from Saudi Mecca, there should be some elements in Yoruba language that should be equalized to Arabic, but there's opposite, word and opposite, which is not, it's not adding up. Let's assume that um, they are okay, they are not worshiping the same way. They are not, everyone can be, but you worship in different way. But what of if, but you speak the same language, you eat the same way, you wear clothes the same way. So why are we now different from Saudi? If our forefathers came from Mecca, we should have some aspects of our culture which will be linked to Saudi. That is our language, the food we eat, our clothing, our tradition is not the same. But according to the history, most of them are still oral history. So everybody trying to conjure. But critics now are thinking critically that, okay, if we're actually from Saudi, there should be some similarity. But some said Nimrod is Oduduwa, is one of the sons of Abraham. They came from Egypt. But anyway, what we are so sure about is that they came from the east, not from Saudi, because it does not really tally. Now, when they came to Ilefe, they met people in Ilefe. It came to limelight. Otutuwa came to limelight when he started taking a position, that is leadership position, in the affairs of the race that I met there, which is Yoruba race. And later, when he started having children, he was sending his children out of Ilefe to form their own kingdom. Ile-Ife was known, or is still known, as the highest supply, is the highest industry for glass production. They produce glass. They are into glass manufacturing. Up till present, they still said in Africa is the largest producer of glass production. Then we still talk about Olofin. Who is Olofin? Because there are some critics that still say Olofin created the world. Olofin is the same that we call as Olorun. Olo Orun. Oni Orun. So when we're talking about words, there's what we call Agbaromo ati Afaromo. This Oni Orun. Then in conjoining it together, we call it Agbaromo. It now becomes Ọlọ́run. Ọlọ́run tàbí Olódùmarè is still the same person Yoruba refers to as Olofin. I just want to make that one clearer because at times we get confused that who is Olofin, who is Olorun. So the Yoruba race spread as far as Ghana, Togo, Benin, Cuba, Brazil, North America, Trinidad, Cameroon, and so many places. So Yoruba race, Brazil, they are so large. Is there any question before we call it a day? Is there any question? Okay, can you ask your question? Let me. Can you ask the question? Kí ni ó fò lè ṣe láyé tí mo wá? Kí ni ó fò lè ṣe láyé tí mo wá? Láyé tí mo wá kàkà kí n jalè, kàkà kí jalè máa kúkú dẹrú. Kí ni ó fò lè ṣe láyé tí mo wá? Kí ni ó fò lè ṣe láyé tí mo wá? Kí ni ó fò lè ṣe láyé tí mo wá? Láyé tí mo wá tàwa kí n jalè, kàkà kí jalè máa kúkú dẹrú. Kí ni ó fò lè ṣe láyé tí mo wá? Lamurudu. Who is Lamurudu? Yes. Yes. The next class we are going to talk about Lamurudu. Who is Lamurudu? It is so clear that there is no trait of Yoruba lineage from Saudi. It's just a myth that we need to really correct because is an oral history, but then the critics have started asking questions. We don't have the same culture. We don't have the same language, not even one. There's no traces. No traces of like maybe it's watered down. No. We don't dress the same way. We dress Iru and Buba, Shokoto, àti ẹ̀wù, Kembe, and they don't dress that way. So it is a clear notion that we keep on asking, where are we from? But obviously, we are not from Saudi. So it was just a conjoin. And when Oduduwa came, he met people on ground. It wasn't the one that brought in Yoruba race. Yoruba race were in existence before he came. And if he came from and he became a powerful person, a king, there should be influence of Saudi Mecca in the culture of Yoruba race. Ireo, next video we talk about Lamurudu. Ireo, thank you very much. We see you again. I remains yours, Oluwafolakemi Busari. Bye.